Alright, so I realized after my last little video that the template map is not nearly as big as I want it to be. So here I am on Utah, which is significantly larger, almost probably twice, maybe three times the size, I'm not sure. And I have all this other negative space over here to flatten out. So I want to make a quick video about how to take Utah, change the name, remove everything from it to kind of make it like a template, but like one that you could actually start from. So this should be quick. It's pretty easy. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to keep all of the materials in my map folder. That way if they change anything in the game, it won't affect my terrain, it won't affect my asset materials. All my brushes will be there, all of my rock brushes, everything should stay in place. So that should be a fun, quick thing. This is really just so I can come back to it if I ever forget how to do it. I'm just starting here with an empty new folder so I can use it as a scratch pad. I have emptied my app data levels folder to make room for anything we're seeing to be by itself. So all we're going to do is go to content in your main game directory, content levels. We're going to copy Utah. So when we copy this to our app data folder here, levels, we're going to unzip it. And basically, if you mess up at any point, you can always delete this from app data. And at any point, once we change the name, you'll still be able to go and launch Utah as normal. So assuming Utah doesn't exist in the levels folder, it will launch from the main install. So this basically is a non-destructive way of working, which is great. So we're just going to extract, let it go, move this over here. So all we're going to do is rename some things, and we're going to tidy up this folder and get rid of the stuff we don't need. So let's look at the file size now. Is 1.84 gigabytes. So first I want to change the name. Let's just rename it to Utah template. I'm going to copy that. Actually, let me rename this Utah template. I'm going to cut that out of that folder. I just want that by itself. I'm going to get rid of this empty levels folder. So now it's just like that. So we have Utah template. Let me make this bigger. So here's what we're going to do. Let's get rid of these. Keep these. Get rid of these spawn previews. Rock prefab, delete. Vehicle, delete. The police map. Those are just waypoints, so we can delete that. Main level we're going to keep. That's just for the automatic lights. So we're going to leave that in our map. Let me close this. So main forest brushes, leave that. Main decals, leave that. Info.json, we're actually going to replace this. We're going to replace this with the one from the template map. Alright, so here's the template info.json. I went ahead and modified it, which just has a couple extra lines like this. So I'm just going to go copy, paste, replace. I'm going to edit this. This is going to be called Utah template. Description, paste. Default spawn point, I'm going to leave that as highway. This will be levels dot Utah template, and I'm going to name it highway. The spawn point name will be highway. Save that. So that's my info file. Facilities we can delete. City sites delete. That Covert Hill prefab delete. Canyon race delete. We're going to delete these scenarios. Quick race. Main we're going to leave. I'm going to leave that. Forest I'll leave. Facilities I'm going to delete. Bus lines delete. And then art, terrains. We need to do edit. Let's change Utah to Utah template. So we're replacing all these Utahs with Utah template. Save. Make sure you're actually saving it. If you try and Control S with your mouse off screen, it will give you a loud ding. So that is the terrains. Skies I leave. Shapes I'm going to leave for now. Road we're going to leave for now. Prefabs I'm going to delete. Gradients I'll leave. Forest I leave. Decals I'll leave. Data blocks, cube maps. So shapes, ground cover. Edit that. Let me just change these to my map. Just be careful that that's what you're actually doing. Okay. Save. In the main root folder here, I just need to do the terrain.terrain edit. I'm just changing that to Utah template and the height map. Utah template, save. And that's it for that. So the only other things is, that's pretty much it. The only other things to talk about is, I think I can delete that. We'll leave it there for now. This one, GM Rock, there's no mention of a folder path, road signs. So if we go back to the main directory, so that's kind of how what you want it to look. We're going to basically build it from there. Let me just go into my game. Now let me launch the game first and then eventually, so I can change this. See how it paths to Utah. I'm going to want to change that to path to my map folder. Or I can leave it like this and delete all these materials. However, for the sake of my map, I'm going to go ahead and go through and change these, but I just want to go to my game and basically show what it looks like now. And the rest of the changes are kind of minor, you know, depending on how you want to set it up. But at this point, let's go to the map. So here's my Utah template. Let's launch that. So everything's going to be all messed up again here. So we just want to go terrain tools, terrain painter, just do a verify, make sure these are all still there, they look good. So what I need to do is go to my level objects, the terrain right here. So material texture set, I want to change that to, what did I say, Utah template. Hit enter. Terrain file, levels, Utah template, and save. Let's relaunch. Oh, immediately started changing. I'm going to relaunch the game. Okay, so you can see my grass is still messed up. Let's check that. Oh, and see, I already can tell I messed up in the JSON, so I changed the material name to Utah template grasses. So let me just do a quick undo on that. So grass issues are always in your ground cover folder. So what I'm going to do is actually restore this ground cover material JSON. And I'm just going to actually use it's very easy. Just going to go to my Utah folder, levels, Utah art, shapes, ground cover. I'm going to just copy it back over. Oopsie. Replace it. So now edit. I just want to change this to Utah template. So as you can see, you don't want to change that name. That's not what you want to do, but just the path. So I'm going to Control S. Let's restart the game. Alright, so my grass is good. Now all I want to do is I want to start deleting stuff, but I don't want to start picking it and delete it. So we're actually going to go to this big long tree, and I'm going to start at the very bottom. Spawn vehicles, we can get rid of that. That will probably come back when you have the AI running. Night lights, we're going to actually delete that. Dealer, basically going to go through, delete these. Player drop points, let me leave those for right now. Waypoints, delete. Statics, all this stuff. AI roads, airport. Now gameplay, those are parking zones for the AI. My map's just going to be like a wasteland, but you could always keep some of that, but production mill, mines. Now these audios are locked. Oh. When you delete mines, it takes a while. It's a big file. So these audios are in blue because they're locked. You can just unlock them and delete these. I'll delete these later. Those are just your sound blocks. Waypoint group I can delete. Oops. Delete. Decals. Delete. Roads. Tourist center. Cameras. All this stuff. Delete. Clutters. We can always, we'll add these back in later. Or I will. Not we. But level objects, keep all that. Road signs I'll delete because I can add them back. All this stuff. Bus stops. Buildings, signs. Yep, let me just get rid of all that. These I'll be adding back in later. So, all I want to do now is basically start whipping out my forest tool. Start deleting all the forest items in the whole map by using the mouse wheel. Make your thing big, because I don't want to change terrain. I'm going to basically flatten the terrain. And I want to show you a trick to how to get rid of the floaters. Some of these start floating around in the midair and you can't get rid of them. Best way I found is just use your object select, click your terrain, and you're going to hold shift, drag a new terrain over that, and then now it should let you, let's see, there you go, maybe. Still can be janky. Sometimes you can, if you click it, raise it up. This shouldn't affect your main terrain. Just make a backup of your map before you start. It's important. So now those are gone. So now I can just basically delete that. That should be it. That should be all I want to show. How big it is. So if I go to it, it's 1.5 gigs. It started at 1.84, 1.53. Started at 1.84, so it is a bit smaller. Now that size could go up depending on if you add more materials to your map. It's not really going to go up depending on if you build your map. Like if you just start adding objects into your map based on what you have already in your folder, it's not really going to drive up the size of the file. Alright, so to clean this up, just a few things. So all I want to really do is go to art. That's where all the massive amounts of data are. To start, let me just check this, make sure that's good. Utah template. So this directory is already done because the JSON's already been repathed. So for everything else, let's see. Shapes, what's this? Okay. I might delete that and try to see what happens. It looks like some kind of a DDS file I don't need. Utah road signs. So everything that says C, DAE, you can delete. So Control A, all that. Then you got to clear your search to see your main. I want to go to the JSON, and that's going to stay at Utah for these specific directories. When we're talking about keeping the materials in your main level on your map, I don't care about doing it so much for these little like signs and bridges as much as I care about ground cover and terrain. Those two, ground cover and terrain, I want to make sure that those are on my level no matter what. But this, for the sake, if I want to move the materials here, I can actually do that, but that will actually drive up the memory of it pretty high, so we're going to leave that out of there. All these junipers, I'm going to clear the CDAEs. I'm going to Control A and delete. And then I'm actually going to go like this, because I don't need these material files in here. So let's go DAE. I want to copy all of these DAE. Oh, actually, let me delete the imposter. All the imposters. So I'm going to delete all of these DAE imposters. Clear my search. And then I'm going to copy my DAEs to a scratchpad folder here. And then I'm actually going to delete all of this. Move those back. Where's my main material? Did I delete that? Okay, I don't want to delete that. Leave that there, delete everything else. Move these back. So there's just some DAEs and a main material. And the main material is still pointing to Utah. So we're going to rinse, repeat, go up the list. Same thing for rocks. Delete the CDAEs. Take the DAEs and make them into a folder. Oh, actually I have to delete the imposters first. Delete all those. And my DAEs over. Right there. I think I can get rid of that info file. So now I'm just left with all of these materials, which, where's my main? Keep that. I'm going to keep that right here. Delete that. Move these all back. Race, rally, finish. I'm not going to have rally stuff. Well, maybe I'll just keep that in there just in case. If I do want it. Delete. Clear search. That looks good. Miscellaneous, same thing. Imposters, delete. And take my DAEs. Take my material main. And I'll probably delete the rest. We don't need it. So if I go like that, ground cover is good. We don't need to make any changes. Clutter, same thing. CDAEs go away. Then my imposters. Oh, maybe there's not. Okay. DAEs I'm going to copy to here. Main material to here. Get rid of the rest. So, quick and dirty. Buildings, same thing, but I'm just going to leave that for now. I want to go back into the map and test it. Quickly want to make sure that things are working, and also want to check my forest items. So if I go to a boulder and my inspector, where's my, make sure I'm on paint. There's some trees. That looks good. Everything working. Dead trees. I want to check my rocks. Also, there was a garbage you can do. Is that working? Yep. And then, like these guardrails. I don't know if those actually work. They're kind of weird. Rocks. Rocks, flat. There's rocks, flat. So you just want to test them to make sure. Then you can always look at your errors, see if there's anything going on, but